I know I don't do this enough. I receive many emails, many communications from individuals all across Canada and some in the United States of America telling me about the victories that they've received or accomplished, the remedies that they were able to acquire after having, well, learned their fundamental rights and freedoms, their human rights and freedoms. And I think this year, 2016, I'm going to be releasing some of these victories so that people can see what's actually going on behind the scenes. Now, here's a comment that I received recently. Just slightly over 2 years ago, an accidental 15-foot fall in a retail store while shopping left me with 3 areas of brain injury and a spinal injury that has disabled 80% of my shoulders and arms. I am recovering well now, and after surgery expect a full recovery. With no income or home insurance, the bank recognized only opportunity, refused to talk to me the first year, then gave me 10 days to pay the balance in full, a foreclosure notice, and 1 minute to consent in a court to an eviction notice as well. All of this was done, and the mortgage was in the bottom end after 40 years of payment. So this guy had paid off his mortgage, well, not paid it off completely, but he had been making payments for 40 years. He was close to paying off the mortgage when this accident happened to him. He had no income coming in at the time, and the bank took advantage of the situation because he was sick and disabled, and because he had no income coming in, they tried to take away his home. He said, in desperation, in researching foreclosure law, I stumbled on your videos. I am now thankful for the injury that placed me in front of a computer and gave me the time to learn your teachings. I am thankful for the brain injury, as it has corrected the brain injury I have been trying to live with for 62 years. And he's being sarcastic, and those who understand will understand what that means. A little over a year ago, I did not know human rights even existed. And believe it or not, that was exactly my position. I never knew anything about fundamental human rights and freedoms. Your teachings have already stopped the bank process. I can interpret the content. I identify with what you say. You are an extremely good factual teacher. As long as I have access to your information to refer to, my salvation is a surety. And he's not talking about spiritual salvation. He's talking about not being damaged monetarily anymore. He's talking about not being taken advantage of as the bank was just about to do to him. Without it, again, we'll be lost. It is in my thought that the preservation and propagation of your effort needs dedicated individuals to provide continued protection of your intellectual teachings for the benefit of additional future human beings. So this guy studied because he couldn't do nothing. He was on his back with health problems. The bank was at his door trying to steal his home, and he was able to overcome. He learned what he needed to learn, and in court he was able to overcome them and stop the bank process. There's this man I know, he's my friend, and he lives in Manitoba. His name is Ed. Very intelligent man. Wouldn't want to meet him in a court of law because he's well versed in international law and in domestic law. Spent about 4 years learning from you know who. Anyways, on August 23rd of 2015, at about 9:18 in the morning, he was traveling in his vehicle, registered vehicle, with his local provincial MVP, license bureau, whatever you want to call it. He was traveling on a highway, and he was going 133 kilometers an hour. As you see there, it says his speed, and the posted limit on the highway was 100 kilometers an hour. So the RCMP agent decided to intercept him under the Highway Traffic Act. And as you can see, top left hand corner, he issued the ticket under the disguise that he was speeding. Now the total fine for this was $482.25. That's what they wanted him to pay. He didn't damage anybody, he didn't harm anybody, but this interaction with this RCMP officer is now about to damage my friend Ed. My friend Ed was on his way to where he was going, and his interaction with his agent of the state party is going to cost him a monetary loss of $482. Now, my other videos that I've taught or that I've placed on YouTube talks about this, how that most interactions with the state party represents damage to us. Why do you think individuals are afraid of the government and afraid of the power of the government? Because their interactions with us cause us monetary damage. So the state party wanted to get him to pay $482.25 based upon the fact that they were stating that he broke the Highway Traffic Act and he was speeding. So, like a good human being, like a good man, he invoked his fundamental rights and freedoms. He used the process available to him. He notified those who needed to be notified, including the Attorney General, and informed them that he will be present on the court date that they were setting, and he would be there to defend his fundamental rights and freedoms. Now, come the court date, which was just recently, he showed up, and this is what the Crown gave to him. They said the proceedings have been quashed. They said there is no plea, as you see, not available. The findings, not available. Subsequent information, not available. And the cost of the fine and the surcharge and all that, zero. So this is what happened. They quashed his ticket. Why? Because the information, the documentation that he sent to them invoked his right, and he told them, I'm coming to court to defend myself. And if they continued to play the facade, then it would have further opened up the state party to a monetary suit, because he would have then went to civil court stating that they are breaching his fundamental rights and freedoms. But they didn't. The Crown respected their obligation.